Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob Squarepants, absorbent and yellow and porous is he. SpongeBob Squarepants, if nautical nonsense be something you wish. SpongeBob Squarepants, then drop on the deck and flop like a fish. SpongeBob Squarepants, ready? SpongeBob Squarepants, SpongeBob Squarepants, SpongeBob Squarepants, SpongeBob Squarepants. Ah, 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 ah. If you've been watching SpongeBob SquarePants for a long time, then you know the biggest problems that faced season 6 and 7, or it became more prominent in season. SpongeBob kept stalking and torturing Squidward when times he deserved. Patrick kept acting like a prick and ruining SpongeBob and Squidward's lives. And Mr. Krabs' greed went too far, where he wasn't just cheap, he became petty and cruel. And, way more evil than Plankton. He was really petty as SpongeBob and Penny Foolish, and Plankton's regular, over SpongeBob getting money and Plankton customers that he didn't have. And he was also really cruel and strict to SpongeBob and Patty Caper and Krabby Chronicle and Plankton in a one-course meal. I mean, seriously, Mr. Krabs, how could you sink so low as to accuse SpongeBob of selling out your secret ingredient to Plankton? But, season 8 is yes better. There were a few episodes of Patrick act like a freaking squid getting tortured again, but it's less common than it was in season 6 and 7, and the best part is, in season 8, they remembered not to have Mr. Krabs be so cruel, and they actually had Plankton act like a villain again. The SpongeBob SquarePants writers really stepped up Plankton's villain game in Frozen Face-Off, Sweet and Sour Squid, Walking the Plankton, Fiasco, Free Samples, For Here to Go, It's a SpongeBob Christmas, Super Evil Aquatic Villain Team Up is Go, Chum Fricassee, and Move It or Lose It. And SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs got to be the heroes of this type of story that they usually were before season 6. But I'm here to tell you about one very fatal mistake Sheldon Plankton made in For Here to Go that almost cost him his life. It was a very interesting conflict of interest here. Mr. Krabs had a contest about guessing how many sesame seed buns are in the jar, so that and whoever could guess the exact right number would win a free Krabby Patty. Now, if anybody else guessed the right number, I'm sure Mr. Krabs would only hesitate for 5 to 10 minutes, 10 minutes being a whole Quibi at most, to give away a free Krabby Patty to any random winner. But Sheldon Plankton is obviously the last one he'd want to guess it right. But sadly he did, and he got the bogus business bureau to come to his aid to prevent Mr. Krabs from disqualifying him from this competition. Under normal circumstances, I know Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob would never let Sheldon Plankton buy a Krabby Patty, but if he guesses the numbers of sesame seeds in that jar exactly right, then they have to give him the free Krabby Patty because it's the rules. Fortunately, he's smart enough to, he made these extra special goggles to help him measure the volume of the seeds and the area of them in the jar to help him make a very educated guess. 500,301. But Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob they're stalling too much to give him the Krabby Patty. They put on a show for him with, puppet bags, paper bag puppets of a Krabby Patty and Plankton. And Sheldon Plankton got angry that the puppet in the puppet show got to have a Krabby Patty before he did. Then Mr. Krabs tried to buy SpongeBob more time by flushing down all of the buns. But then SpongeBob ordered more buns, so Sheldon Plankton finally got to have that free Krabby Patty after all. But Mr. Krabs knew how to fight back. Sheldon Plankton could have that free Krabby Patty, but only under the condition that he eat it at the Krusty Krab. The whole thing. So that's what he did. And honestly, it's my mom knew it was really silly of Sheldon Plankton to try and eat a whole Krabby Patty because Plankton is so little and Krabby Patty is so big compared to him. He could live off a single Krabby Patty for an entire week. But if he did that, then sadly that would mean SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs and that guy from the Bogus Business Bureau would have to wait even longer for him to finish eating it than the million seconds it took to count all of those sesame seeds in the jar. I mean, but then Sheldon Plankton ate the whole Krabby Patty, and now there's a big Krabby Patty bulge in his stomach. And this is it. This is the fatal mistake that nearly killed Plankton. I mean, maybe he should have sliced it into quarters. At least, if you wanted Karen to get us to analyze the Krabby Patty and all the ingredients of the Krabby Patty, you could have. Would have been the same. It would have been a bit less painful if you had a quarter. But that's not the point. My point is, yeah, he was really. This part is really scary. Okay, viewer discretion is advised. This might not be safe for work. What I'm about to talk about. So yeah, Sheldon Plankton had a whole Krabby Patty stuck inside him, and he needed Karen to. He told Karen to cut it out of him before it digests. And then she said, "What about anesthetic?" And then Plankton said, "There's no time. You gotta cut this Krabby Patty out of me so I can feel it digesting." And honestly, yeah, I'd really hate to be Plankton right about now. I mean, that must have been super painful, cutting us open his stomach with no anesthetic, just because he was afraid of just because he didn't want to lose a Krabby Patty inside him. My gosh, I mean, I thought Mr. Krabs was crazy when he tried to do anything to save a quick buck, to the extent that he would deny professional drive-thru equipment that Spongebob Squarepants already paid for, so he didn't have to. But gosh, that's really scary. Sheldon Plankton was so desperate to get that Krabby Patty out of him. I mean, is that really worth your life, Sheldon Plankton? Really? I feel really scared for you. I'm scared for you because of all that pain you had to experience. And all for what? For everyone else to eat the Krabby Patties with your stomach acid. So yeah. So honestly, it would have been much safer for you to just let the Krabby Patty digest over the course of a week or half a week. You really think Krabby Patties that have already been inside you are going to sell that well? Gross. I hope you never plan an evil scheme that dangerous to your own life again. So yeah, anyways, that's all I have to say about this video. And yeah, if you want a food cut out of you because it's too big to fit in your stomach, you really should still ask for anesthetic first. Because it's not worth your life just to get the ingredients sooner. I mean, what Sheldon Plankton getting a Krabby Patty cut out of him, that must have been 1,000 times more painful than Squidward getting his toenail ripped out in House Fancy. I'm sorry if what I talked about in this video made you throw up. But thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope you have a stronger stomach than Plankton. goodbye. Thanks for watching this video. And if you want to watch more of my videos, like, subscribe, and click on the Drake bell next to the subscribe button. So long for now.